Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yachts,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Brady,
Here.
Small,
Here.
Carolyn, New.
Page one.
No, not for a special meeting, because you have to post what your meeting's for. But I did include, the closed session
Okay.
in the notice.
Okay, the primary reason for getting together today is you had different departments and divisions that want to put a millage on the ballots this year, have the opportunity to present for the public forum. That way, if they want to use this information for propaganda for voters, they can reference the YouTube video. So that being said, I want to add a few things to the meeting today. After the presentations, the presenters are free to go. We're not voting on anything today, it's just presentations. As far as villages go, I want to add, we have to talk about approving EMS wages as one item. Another item is we have to do some business with funds 245 and 281. We have to sign an engagement letter for the auditor for our 2023 audit. And then we have to have a closed session at the end for union talks with the court employees. That being said, I guess I better ask if there's any public comment to start. And I haven't seen any public comment, so that's good. And then we'll move on to who wants to volunteer first for their presentation. Yeah, come on up.
All right. Just want to make sure you can see me. So I'm Julie Darton. I'm the district director for MSU Extension District 4, and Alcona County is part of that 7-county region for MSU Extension. We have had a millage here in Alcona County. I believe this would be the 3rd time we would be renewing the millage. So this would be the 4th time it appears for voters to vote on it. We are not seeking to change the amount or the term of the millage, and so it would be a direct renewal. The language I did share with Chairman Breggy and others in an email, and I believe all the commissioners were copied on that. It's called for MSU Extension 4-H millage renewal for the purpose of sustaining 4-H youth development, agriculture and agribusiness, health and nutrition, horticulture education programs through Michigan State University Extension Services in Alcona County. And then goes on to give the term, shall the previously approved limitation imposed under Article 9, Section 6 of the Michigan Constitution on general ad valorem taxes within Alcona County be levied for 4 years, 2024 through 2027 would be the term, inclusive for the purpose of paying costs of operating Michigan State University Extension and 4-H in Alcona, in the county of Alcona, and shall the county of Alcona levy such renewal millage for said purpose, thereby raising, and I would need some help with what the millage total would actually raise. In essence, we would continue to be offering 4-H youth development programs, which we've actually expanded in the last few years. We have always had athletic programs. In the last year and a half, we've added baseball as part of the softball as part of the program that we support through volunteers. We continue to screen a great number of adult volunteers here in the community who are engaged in those programs. And then we've added on a number of different activities that we continued. For example, today, Stephanie Domke, who's our 4-H program coordinator, is at the elementary school, supervising, portions of classes of the elementary school who come to the makerspace area and engage in additional science, technology, engineering, and math education through her efforts. We continue to do curriculum development and work closely with a number of projects with Alcona Community Schools. We have a deep and very connected relationship with the school, which I think is to the benefit of both the school and MSU Extension 4-H. In addition to that, we provide lots of educational classes for people across the lifespan on health and nutrition. And so, these dollars would continue to support that effort. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about any plans that we have or anything.
So it's the same verbiage and same rate? What is the rate? You read it and I don't remember.
Actually got cut off in my email.
I think I'm looking at 2021, so 0.1397.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I knew it was less than 0.1. Well, I think with the Headley rollback, it might be
0.1393, 1393.
This is 21, so yeah, that'd be. So you said you needed somebody to help with the amount of the millage?
in the language of in the language of the ballot, it says exactly what the millage raises in the first year.
Right.
So that was part of my communication.
I need the multiplier for the total tax.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were coming saying we need 120,000, what do we gotta have for, or whatever the amount was.
No, we've been operating, within the collection and occasionally needing to use, some of the fund balance on the account. So there is a fund balance in the account. And I have some ideas about how we might use that in the future. Would love to have another conversation about that. But we haven't asked for anything out of the general fund and would not be seeking additional funds from the general fund.
And you don't need additional funds in order through the millage either. So you're not saying we need more.
No, not at this time. No. We feel confident that we could propose a renewal and that would be like hopefully more acceptable to voters. So I'm not taking anything for granted, but yes, we've had success with renewals, so.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let's go next.
Hi, I'm Denise Bear, I'm the librarian. We don't need to renew the library's millage, however, with our new contract with the Curtis Township Library, we need to go for a renewal with that. And the last time we did it was in 2016, it was for 0.5 mils in 8 years, and we're hoping to do a renewal of that, but go for 10 years. And I would also need a little help with the money. I think that, it says here from 2016, the first year was 31,233.48, and I know that has raised over the years, but
You're talking the Curtis Township,
Curtis
correct?
Township, yes.
So this is,
And then the library millage will need a renewal next. And it's complicated, it all has to do with our new contract, but I think it's doing good. They have been transferred over to our circulation system and we're doing pretty good numbers out there and here, but questions? Comments?
You have a question, Cheryl?
I just wanted to clarify that that the township millage
Yes,
is not gonna
it's
be.
the Curtis
county
Township
millage.
Library
Okay.
millage, and they're now contracted through us.
You're showing her
Doing
support.
different.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Do they have to notify us?
Yeah.
Since it's theirs, that they have to make a request?
Yes, and I believe what I have to do next is contact their clerk. I'm hoping for an August renewal, but it will only be on the townships this time. Next time, it will be the whole library. The whole county's flooded.
And are we looking at all August?
Well, I was gonna ask for preferences, but we'll decide later. And I forgot to ask, did you have a preference?
Oh,
Okay.
She said.
Get them early,
Next
get them
year.
often.
She's gonna put it on the ballot.
Okay, thank you very much.
All righty.
So what's going next?
25 will hold it after.
Tony Rhodes, Assistant Director of Oklahoma County EMS. I want to apologize. Scott was originally the director, was supposed to be here today because of family emergency, so I'm kind of stepping in the shoes at the last minute. But basically what we want to do is get on the August ballot for renewal of the 0.5 mil that we had on the ballot in 2020 and was approved. We made some significant changes and improvements in the service since that time. And it's working well, but we're gonna need to continue that in order to keep up what we're doing. Our run volume's really up, even so far this year. So hopefully we'd even like to be able to put on a third ambulance in the holidays like we've done in the past.
This is an equipment.
The equipment village unit?
Equipment, yes, this is for equipment.
You have two motions. This is.
Yeah, this is the equipment one. Maintain emergency medical service vehicles, equipment, existing buildings and structures, medical supplies and inventory.
What was the term? How many years?
5.
5 years?
No, 4 years.
No, how many, yeah, 4, okay. What was it, what's that makes you term?
4.
4, okay, thank you. Okay, any other, specific things you wanna address?
No,
Okay,
thank you.
3.5, what is that one? It's 213, what is that? I can't remember.
The equipment is
Yeah.
213, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, how about Mr. Cordis? Calling you out.
I just came to listen.
Oh, I thought you were here on behalf of 911. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see you recorder. You're hiding behind Terry. Come on up. No,
I mean, if you want to, Rob,
No.
be my guest.
my apologies.
Side of the corner. So Kathy Bell, the new 911 director. This is my first time doing millage, so I hope I have everything correct, but I'm just looking to renew our old millage, which was a 0.25 for 6 years on the August ballot, for our continued operation and for equipment. We are looking at a new enhanced 911 phone system, and it appears we're gonna have to replace 3 of our radios that are 12 years old as well. So we need some new equipment. So I'm just looking to review it, though. From what I can see in our budget, we should be fine with just a renewal and not renewal. And that's it.
0.25 for 6 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Same as before.
Yep.
And obviously you went through and already assessed the impact of the software and everything and.
Yeah, I kind of looked back at what Jeff Brackett had, and as far as the costs and everything, I think that we would be fine with just keeping it how it is.
Okay.
Not, we don't need to increase it, or add another one. So,
Okay. And the board signed off on it? Your
Yep.
board, okay. All right, any other questions? Well, thanks a bunch.
Thanks.
Who's left? I think that's all the ones that were on the ballot before, right? Let's see, library, missed on one.
Well, I thought ECC lady was gonna come, but obviously not.
Oh, that's right. ACCOA.
Were they talking about an additional millage?
Yes, Karen was talking about it, and they decided not to.
Yeah, it was all the time. You know, this is really, like I said, years past, my experience is, we have to have 3 special meetings to make sure all language is all set and we get it on the ballot in time. So this is kind of putting the horse before the cart for a change and having information in front of us now so that we can have it all ready to go, hopefully by the end of February. So, that being said, does anybody, questions, have any more comments about Villages? This time?
I guess we will have to talk about it, some type of millage at some point.
Sure enough, you feel like talking about it? I'll talk about it. All right, so. Just as a point of note, and, there's no official, plans at this time, and there's still, talks going on with, everybody involved. Whether or not this will happen, but, there's been discussion among the finance, us finance committee people here. That maybe it would benefit Alcona County to have a law enforcement millage, and like I said, this hasn't been endorsed. Or heavily, I mean, it's been discussed, but not officially discussed, but I guess. Just based on myself, and I can put you on hook, yeah, and Dave here, that we think it'd be a good idea, but until we get more numbers together and a better support base, and we won't really have an official conversation about it, but I just put it on everybody's radar, because if it pops up, nobody says, hey, why are you trying to speak up on us about this? It's not what we're trying to do, but I think it's important for Dave and I at least that it be discussed at the very least.
Do we have a number as far as, 1 mil, 2 half mil?
Well, I mean, ideally, it'd be a mill, a full mill, at the very least. Honestly, it's becoming harder and harder to fund the police department. We've had to make some pretty big boosts in salaries recently, and just as keeping up with Joneses, our neighboring counties are stealing our deputies. And because they have better wages. It's just the long story short, and we're suffering the same thing in EMS as well. We're struggling to keep our guys seats, guys in the seats. So that being said, our money's drying up, and this is the last chance to have a nice, easy budget time. And times are going to get tough coming up unless we find some way to help. And the police force, according to Dave and I, and I'm not putting anybody else on hook here, just Dave and I, because he volunteered to be on hook. Is they're half to 2/3 of our entire tax expenditures. So I think it's a worthy thing to look into. Any other comments from villages? Hearing none, if you came to present your millage, you don't want to hang out, you don't have to. Like I said, we're not voting anything today, we just got the information, and if you want to get the YouTube link for this presentation, you can use it as propaganda for your villages. That's fine with us. So that being said, we'll move on to the next business. Thank you, everybody. EMS wage.
Can I just ask, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Maybe this is out of order.
No, go ahead.
Approximately what does 1 mil raise at this point?
890,000.
Roughly.
What, okay,
You get it kind of around that ballpark.
okay,
Anywhere from 800 to a million, we'll say that.
okay, all right. And I'm sorry, the email that I printed cut off, but I did just go and look at it on my phone. It's 0.14 was the specific number in the language in 2020 when it was renewed then, so. I'm sorry, I feel like I didn't come with my complete.
You did fantastic, and I
Okay.
appreciate you that you came.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, good.
So, we had a session a couple meetings ago, or the last meeting, where we spoke to, the EMS department heads about, once again, loosen up, the wage base so we can keep people on, and maybe hire some new people. And we never did the official motion to proceed as advised. So right now, I would ask that I'll make a motion to proceed as discussed during that closed session.
Support.
Move is supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Yax.
Yes.
As a secondary note to that, we also have to discuss the uncomfortable portion of this a little bit is that, I think that that does impact the, department head and the wages of the assistant director. the director and assistant director because it's based on, the highest paid union position. So, I would make a motion to amend, that pay accordingly for director and assistant director.
I'll support it.
Who to support it?
Um. How much would, I guess, I've got to ask, how much would that go up, and, you know?
I don't have the last number, but it's 1,500 more than the highest.
Okay.
Well, actually, due to our last meeting, I can't even discuss what the final number would be until we sign all the contracts.
Okay.
Policy was 3,000 above the highest paid.
Something like
And
that.
I can,
Okay.
for the director and 1,500 above the highest paid for the
Okay.
assistant director.
The total increase?
Correct.
I wrote, just roughly one of them was like $6,000 increase.
Well, I don't, like I said, it's union stuff that we can't. That's approximate, and I don't think we can talk about that till we sign the contract, so. It's like,
For director and assistant director?
no, I'm talking about for the EMS wages.
Their new wages based off the union.
Yeah, it's based off the union contract, so,
And who was the second?
Dave. Any more discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Johnston.
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes,
Small,
Yes.
motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Close that out. Also, a piece of business to do today is, the engagement letter for authorize the chair to sign the engagement letter for, what's the firm?
Anderson back.
Anderson Packman to do our 2022 audit, 2023 audit, I mean. I'll accept the motion for that.
I'll make a motion. That we sign, is it, we've got the engagement letter now, or we are requesting one?
The engagement letter is here, it was the same terms as
I'll
the
support
last.
that.
So for signing, I guess, for the chair to sign the engagement letter.
Yes.
Moved and supported. Any more discussion? All those in, roll call.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Another piece of business, we have to approve, first one is we have to approve the Harbor Town Marketplace budget. Didn't make it into the roster from the last round. Basically is what you see is what it is. It's, let's see, 2024, 29,000 and 29,000. Expenditures and payouts. I'll make a motion to approve it. Or move supported. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
And the last piece of business is the 281 fund.
Which is, remind me.
281 American Investment Fund. The auditor's suggestion, let's move the money around. So we're, we can satisfy their needs, I guess, so. That being said, is there any more questions?
Yeah, what are we doing? I
Or-
don't have that paper.
It's on the back side.
It's on the back side.
There's about, oh,
You can take notes.
Yeah, Mike.
and that, oh,
I got.
number one and number two.
Got two.
You got number two?
I got-
Oh, well, that's harder conversation. That's cool what they're talking about.
You got 281? I just-
There you go.
Actually, if you wouldn't mind, can you give us a quick rundown, Cheryl?
No, I just gave away my paper. You borrow yours?
Is it on there?
Yes. The fund balance left in the ARPA funding for, was 412,824. Rounded up to 825, interest for expecting about at least $2,000, depending on how this year goes with, investing the money we made, that may be quite higher, and those monies will be going directly into the general fund once this is all closed out. There's still a balance. The balances were brought over of what was available from the other projects that were approved. closeout of all of the. I have not received all the information from all the projects that have not closed out, and there are a few that still need to be paid out, and those will be happening shortly. As far as the two projects for the two building projects that were just approved a few months ago. The transfers out, that's the final payout for the revenue loss that we claimed. The rest of them, there has gone into buildings and grounds, the rest of the funding. So last year, Dave ended up, I believe, spending or maintenance ended up with $6,000 of unspent funding from the prior amount that we put in there for building improvements. And your vote to put the rest of the available funding into buildings and grounds for maintenance of the buildings is there. So once the other projects are all closed out, then that money will be filtered in, because I know the sheriff's department got a grant for some of that dash cam
Yes.
project, and there was some monies left over. We're kind of waiting for that to all kind of filter through. So there more than likely will be some funding left from that project that will go into the buildings and grounds, which was what you had stated when you made that decision to put the rest of the project money in there. That's really what we're looking at. And this year should be, clearing out those that funding, and then with the question on how the, broadband project goes, will determine the rest of the funding and where that goes. That'll be a discussion with the auditors as far as, how that's gonna be worked out.
Okay. Thank you very much. Did we can work for this?
I don't think you did, not for this one. Do we have not, we haven't done that for that, have we?
No.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve approve this.
I'll support.
I'll type it just like that too.
Just do it, because then they can see, you know, just how awesome it is to be a chairman. Did I get supported?
I did.
Dave supported. Okay, we'll do a roll call. If there's no discussion.
Small,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That being said, I think that's all the business I need to conclude other than going to the closed session. So we'll do a short recess.
I did have one thing, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Right after the last meeting, we were discussing, I think it was a public comment in regards to, guns in the polling location. And, I emailed the Bureau of Elections after that meeting, and they responded back the same day and said that here is our guidance on firearms laws. Whether or not guns are permitted is based on the policy of the polling place building. So if firearms are normally not allowed, they are not allowed on election day just because it's a polling place. So that took care of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that being said, is there any public comment now? Sure.
Something for a second. I'm in the midst of working on an annual shelter agreement with the Humane Society. And their reluctance to sign it right now is that we've been at $8,000 paying them for quite some time. They're wanting about $12,000 on that, so that's kind of the sticking point, and they're not really wanting to sign it until we do something. My problem is I don't understand the workings of the rental agreement with Precious Paws down at the Harmontown Plaza. I understand there was some type of interworkings with some type of trade-off there, so when it comes to negotiating money with these contracts, I kind of leave that to the board, or I'm supposed to leave that to the board, but that's kind of where we're at. And for what it's worth, we did take 7 dogs there from a house that was infested with rats and dogs. That had 7 children looking at it the other day. So that prompted a call yesterday. So I apologize for not getting on the agenda today, but they called me yesterday. So we got to get something in place here pretty soon. We got 7 dogs and we're overfull.
You have start it after, yes. Well, no, I'll say right now.
Typically Carolyn handles the society and.
She is, yeah.
So this was a new, I haven't heard this. This is is this like in response to the 7 dogs?
Her calling me was, I presented a draft agreement with them, in the fall. And they've been sitting on it for a little while. I think I gave you guys a copy of that draft, and I do have copies of it today.
And that included the 4,000 increase?
No, the draft that I gave, it only had the $8,000.
Because that's what we normally,
That's not normal.
and I know that we did the 8,000, but there was some other stuff through Harvard Town,
Sure,
and that's why they kept it at 8,000.
yeah,
So this is relatively new, that they wanted to bump it by 4.
it is.
Okay.
It is. And I think they were hoping to have that bump for this budget's.
Oh, okay.
Cycle this year.
Which would have been good to know at budget time.
Yeah.
Well, for what it's worth, what we get from that humane society in the form of a shelter is way better than us trying to build our own shelter and staff it. It's $8,000 or $12,000 is certainly a bargain. My colleagues in other counties are not getting off so easy with that. They're running a whole animal shelter staff to run their facilities. So we're pretty fortunate in that regard.
Okay, any other public comment? All right, we'll do a short recess, give Jennifer a chance to come down and.
She's here.
Oh, you hide behind, everybody hides on me, you're hiding over here. Then we won't go into closed, then we won't have a recess, we'll go directly to closed session. Thanks for coming today, everybody.
Motion to go into closed section.
Yep.
Oh, you know, order.
Move to supported, me and Craig. All those in favor? Aye. Carries.
Wait a minute.
Actually, a roll call. Vote. Yax,
Yes.
Johnson, Brady,
Yes.
Small.
Yes.
Oh, Scott, hang on.
No, I'm not done.
No.
You were sitting there looking like that.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, wait, I don't think you can vote in a closed session.
Are you adjourning?
Yes.
Okay.
Or public comment,